Happy New Year, everybody. Hope you're feeling okay out there. Check this out. Bitcoin was deemed a commodity by the Commodity Exchange Commission. Ethereum was deemed a commodity. Okay? So which creates clarity for those two projects. XRP was involved with lawsuits for many years. I know that the XRP army is gonna make comments and things that look, I'm misspeaking, but I'm not. I know. I follow XRP closely. Has been in lawsuits for many years, which prevented the lack of the bull run back in 2020 into 21. We didn't see the bull run with XRP because of these lawsuits for the SEC. So, done. Completely finalized. No more lawsuits. It's over. They paid out a fine. Done. It's not deemed a security or a commodity. So, what does that equal? Lack of clarity. It creates gray area. This difference matters. This matters a lot. Okay, especially because Congress is finally moving forward with something called the Clarity Act, which is inside of that Genius Act. So let's see what's up with that. And that's why I'll show you the chart. I think that's why the chart is doing what it's doing. It's crazy talk to me. So let's see. Regulatory clarity isn't just a legal detail. Like I was just saying, I got some notes here. It directly affects adoption, capital flows, long-term confidence. Bitcoin and Ethereum are largely treated as a commodity. So the XRP, however, still sits in its regulatory gray zone. That's why we're not seeing it. We're not seeing these price actions that we're expecting. Markets don't like gray areas, ladies and gentlemen. So, no clarity. What it means, okay, when people hear XRP has no clarity, they often assume that this token's illegal or something like that. And it puts hesitation on people's toes who don't go in studying, who don't do the deep dive. They would understand that nothing's illegal about XRP. It's an amazing technology. It's going to take over a large percentage of the SWIFT transactions, which is look that up, people. I mean, what I'm saying from that, it's amazing what that means. It's crazy amount of money, settlement transactions daily when we're talking about this over borders transactions. So it still trades globally. The issue, its classification and jurisdiction is what XRP needs to see. Okay, it's not failure. That's what a lot of people are saying. Oh, yeah, it's not doing anything. So yeah, I'm hearing these little chirps about failure. No, it is honestly, it is. I'm going to say one of the best blockchain technologies that exist. Okay, the XRPL. The Clarity Act, from what I understand, and they're talking about here, it's a proposal by the U.S. law designated to clearly define how digital assets are regulated, specifically which assets are commodities and which are securities, and which agencies oversee them. That's all it is. Okay, so this Clarity Act already passed in the House. It's got to hold up. The Senate is dragging its feet up, but look, it's better. It's better to have longer negotiations so there's not bigger hiccups moving forward, so things get denied. Okay? So now, as of now, the next major step is expected January 15th, I believe it is, when the Senate Banking Committee is scheduled to begin a markup of the Clarity Act. Okay, this is when the senators debate, they amend, they finalize the bill's language before it can move to the full Senate vote. Ooh, that's exciting. That's exciting, people. That doesn't mean it becomes law immediately, but it does mean the process officially moves forward. We just want to move forward with this thing. You know, I had the misconception myself that I thought that Genius Act was going to clarify these things for XRP, but it didn't. It was just recognizing it as not being illegal. It was just a blanket statement over it. So briefly, so the regulatory systems are slow. That we all know that about the government. It's just when there's multiple agencies involved, they go back and forth. This whole thing, no comprehensive digital asset framework yet, which we need. So despite all this, XRP continues to have one of the most dedicated communities in crypto. Yo, XRP Army, I know that. I can feel it. Mind you, I'm not going to tell my whole story, but I got caught up in a huge, strong community with an altcoin, decentralized, when I first started crypto, and it lost. And I learned a lot. From that process, okay? And that's why I'm sitting here today. One of the reasons. With those strong communities, long-term holders is what we're seeing, which is what a network needs. Okay, it creates global interest. It spreads out when there's stronger community. Keep up the good news, XRP Army, because it does spread. It does spread in a positive light. Okay, these payments in the settlement narrative is huge, like we mentioned with Swift. Okay, so getting up here into the closing, if the Clarity Act progresses through the Senate in 2026, that could be one of the biggest steps toward resolving this XRP regulatory status. No duh. Clarity doesn't arrive without the frameworks. That's where we're sitting. It arrives quietly, then gets priced in. So we're going to see things get priced in before they hit. That's a very important point. When we see this Clarity Act get closer to supporting XRP, prices are going to get worked in. So when it is approved, we should already be up there, more or less. As we love charts, we love looking at some TA. That's what life's all about these days. Also, I zoomed out. I was sitting here. We always have to look inward and self-evaluate and look at the decisions we make, why we make the decisions when it comes to investing. I zoomed out. I bought way down here. I mean, geez, I gotta shrink this thing up. I bought way down here. I was lucky. And so I saw this thing right up. I learned from this. In future, I am going to sell. If I have that much of a profit, I can guarantee you, right, and I do that now. And have done it with a couple different projects. When I have these big gains, I am going to take profits, or at least pull off my original investment. That's what smart investors do. People don't sit here and make $1 million in a couple days and talk about it, right? You don't hear those stories. It's just not. There's a lot of misrepresentation going on out there in the space. So where we're at right now, and technically speaking, when you do look at this, here's what I like. I don't know if you can see this with all my lines on here, but these two purple lines are a trend line that basically started this trend back in early August that's continuing to move down. Okay, and then here's Doomsday. I thought we also almost broke out in September right here, and we wanted to. It retested in this area and started to run, hit that resistance. We went back into the negative trend. And you can see it. We just kept moving down. Bumping into that trend, lower highs and lower lows is what we've been seeing. So here's what I want to show you. These two downward trend blue lines right here, I'm going to stretch them out a little bit more, created a bigger dip, a bigger downward trend. As of early December, we've taken further lower lows, lower highs. But look what happened. This is momentum. Okay, I've learned technical analysis. We find a trend when the trend gets steeper, and then it jumps out of there. It's bullish. Okay. Right here at this little spot. Why is that locked? This little spot right here, if you can see my cursor, don't move that, is where we jumped out of this steeper trend line, And so for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, we're staying in this channel. I can back up even more. Before we broke out of that steeper trend, we are staying in this price range of about 195 to 175. We've been staying in that band. We broke out of that steeper trend line, and honestly, so this old purple trend can act like resistance. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting to see what it does with this line right here. But my thought, until that Clarity Act comes in, we're going to stay within this price range of about 175 to 195. Okay, and if anything changes, secondly, if we bump above that purple resistance, I'd be interested to see if there's a turnaround. We will go test the 195 as well. So there's a couple things I'm looking for. That turnaround, and then the retest of that resistance. And then, honestly, that Clarity comes out, off to the races. All right, everybody. Hey, a lot of stuff going out there. I've been following a couple stories I'm not going to mention yet. I will share it with you, though. Crypto Hop signing off. Thanks for checking in. Check out these 2 videos, man. It's pretty cool. What I'll do is I'll post those. It was the silver drama. I know silver's not a crypto, but we got to look at all markets. That's what we do on this channel. Crypto Hop signing off. Enjoy your new year, everybody.